at that time I may be SSP in police. I didn't join that. So my interest in veterinary profession. And nowadays we all have our pets in our home, and we have our cats, we have our dogs, we have our birds. So today's lecture will be concentrated on the awareness about the zoonosis, about the diseases which are transmitted from the animals to humans, and from even vice versa, from humans to animals also. Because nowadays, after this corona period when we were at home, so most of the kids at home, they were feeling lonely and they don't have anything to play, so they were not allowed to go outside to play. So at that time, so there was a great sale in the parks at that time. Especially everyone adopted or has a pup in his home. So we are rearing the pets like as a family members, because the cases when we come to our clinics, so we see sometimes the dog will defecate, even the owner will not even touch its feces also to care the table also. So but there are certain diseases which can be transmitted. So we have to take precautions. We have to be aware to what are the diseases which can get transmitted from the animals to the human beings. So today's lecture is concentrated on the zoonosis. So what is zoonosis? So these are the basically infectious diseases which are transmitted from the animals to the human beings, and vice versa also. Say there's human tuberculosis. It is a disease of humans. But if a milking man who is milking the cow, so if he is having the disease, he can transmit that disease to the cow also, and its udder get infected, and the bacteria, that is the Mycobacterium tuberculosis, so that will come in the milk. And if you are not consuming the pasteurized or the boiled milk, so there are chances that we can get the infection. So these are the diseases, even salmonella also. So it's a very common problem, especially from the poultry, and even in humans, it causes the typhoid. So if a person is suffering from a typhoid, so he can transmit the disease to the animals also, and vice versa. So these are the diseases, basically infectious diseases, which are transmitted from the animal to the human beings. Now, approximately 61% of the human pathogens, they are zoonotic. So whatever the diseases, pathogens which causes the diseases in human beings, so they can transmit it to the animals also. And nowadays people use, because of the deforestation, so less forest area, the animals, they are entering into the human zone. Like you see the monkeys, sometimes wild animals, they come and they are also carriers of many other diseases. So when in the form of the food, and sometimes we feed them also, so they come in contact with the human beings and they transmit many other diseases. Especially that if you go to the temple of Mata Bhavevali, you see there are many monkeys, even sometimes they defecate, and we go barefooted there. And when our feet come in contact with the feces of these monkeys, so there are many parasites. So their eggs will be there, larvae will be there. There are certain parasites like hookworms. Their larvae, they can penetrate to the intact skin. So if our foot will come in contact with the feces of that monkey, so the very parasite like hookworm, they get transmitted to us. So what I was telling that the wild animals entering into the human area, and even the monkeys also, so they are the transmitting many other diseases. And sometimes you must have seen when we are going to the temple anywhere, so we have a prasad with us. Even they try to snatch it. If you will not allow it, they will either bite you or scratch you. So by biting also, definitely they can be carried with the rabies virus, that is a very dreadful disease. There is no treatment of this disease. So we should be very aware of that. The same incidents of the Ghaziabad, in which the 14-year-old boy, he had a dog bite from the neighborhood dog, but he didn't tell to his pet. So what happened? After 1 month, he developed the sign of rabies. treatment of this disease. So never take any scratch, any bite of the animal might be. You should always report to your parents. You should visit to the doctor. That I will tell you now. So what I was saying, the present scenario of the pet population. So dogs are almost the common pets in India, and 63% of the pet owners they are having the dogs, and 42% they are having the cats. And 11% of the people in India they own at least 4 pets. Some people they are having even 4 dogs. So there is a one lady, so he is having the Harshdeep Street Animal Foundation. She is basically Kashmiri Pandit. So her parents are also pet lovers. So she is residing there in the Chatta area, the local area, and she is having, I think, 250 and more than that dogs in her home. She is feeding street dogs. So this Harshdeep Street Animal Foundation she is having. So some even people they are adopting the street dogs also. So instead, I would suggest that instead of purchasing a exotic breed dogs, some go for Saint Bernard, some go for other. They are more susceptible to diseases. Our Indian breed, which we call the stray dogs, the firstly they were known as mongrels. Mongrels कहते थे. But now the government it has given a special name to it, Pariha. So that is a Pariha breed of dog. So we should try to adopt these street dogs so that they also get good life, and also we can reduce the population of the stray dogs. So the pet population of the India, cat population of the India, it may reach 4.89 million by 2026, and at present there are over 30 million pet dogs. So now how these zoonotic diseases they are transmitted to us. So what is the method of transmission? So it is by the dog bite, maybe by the consumption of the uncooked or unpasteurized milk or the raw milk. Some people they think, no, you know that dengue virus, it causes the thrombocytopenia. So it goes down. So even people they recommend that we go for the goat milk. Don't boil it. So consume it raw. So goat is a carrier because it's very difficult to vaccinate all the animals. So they are the carrier of many of the diseases. Brucellosis is one of the disease. It's caused by the Brucella abortus. So this is a bacteria even which can enter through the intact skin. If you will come in contact with the urine or the milk of the animal, the bacteria it will enter through the intact skin. So if you will consume such a type of milk, so it will cause a disease in humans that is called as a undulant fever. So there will be fever, and it's a very dangerous disease. Even in the females, it may result in abortion also. In the case of the males, it results in the orchitis. So the male is become impotent. With such a dreadful disease, there is a high fever, there is a night sweating is there, and fever it comes and goes. So for that, so the treatment of the doxycycline it is recommended for 28 days because, and it is the intercellular bacteria. So it's very difficult to eliminate it. So it is recommended that don't go for if you get the milk from such an animal which is vaccinated with the Brucella vaccine, then only go for the raw milk. Otherwise, never consume the raw milk. Even nowadays, there is a trend where they are going to the gym for bodybuilding, and sometimes even the coach also advises you go for the raw egg. You just take 2 3 eggs, put it into the milk, fry it, shake it and drink it. So that is also not a good practice because you know the acid come from the hand and the GIT tract of the hand. So it is the carrier of salmonella. So if some species of this hand will be there from that. So while breaking that, it may get enter into that you shake, and when you will drink definitely you will suffer from typhoid or salmonellosis. So these things they should be avoided. So never, some people they go for the uncooked meat, especially like meat like pork. So it's a very, skin is very thick. So it should always be properly cooked. Then it should be consumed. Otherwise, then it is not considered as a good meat. In many religions, there is a prohibition that Jewish they don't, even in Muslims also. Why? Because this is the, you must have seen the pigs roaming here and there in the trains, they are eating everything, consuming everything. So they may be the carrier of many of the diseases, and that way they will transmit when you will consume raw or unproperly cooked milk. So there are chances that the pig form they get transmitted to the human beings and many other diseases they can be transmitted. So whenever you have to consume any meat, so it should be properly cooked. It should not be raw or it should not be harmful. Then nowadays there is a trend, mostly the student will prefer the canned food, soft drinks. So it should also be avoided because they can also be the, sometimes always check for the expiry date. I will show you one video here also how to differentiate whether this is the spoiled food, canned food, or it is a good. So it should also be taken. And we are consuming many of the vegetables, some as a salad. So never ever, I will tell you, never take cabbage as raw. It should be avoided because it is such a vegetable that the leaf, one leaf will come over the other, and if accidentally the dog defecated in that area or some manure is applied and that is containing the end of the Anupama, it is a deep form. So if it get into our system, so it will result in the formation of delicate cyst. So cyst may be formed and that may result into the disease in humans. So it may be in the head and it may result into the damage to the brain. The patient may get the convulsions, epileptic fits may get, if it is in the liver or some other visceral organ. So accordingly the signs will be there. And it is very difficult to treat also. So nowadays there is a trend that every student child, we will see they will be preferring the Chinese food. So avoid this. Never take any food, such food which contain the raw cabbage. Avoid that. If it is a good source of many of the vitamins, but you cook it at home after proper cooking, pressure cooking, you consume it. I never, when I came to know that this thing happened, I never bring this vegetable to my home and rarely we cook it and never consume it as a raw. So you should avoid
it. It is blanched in hot water.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, like if we have boiling water, we blanch this cabbage for some time,
yes,
and we take it out. Then can it be consumed?
Yeah, you can consume it, but still there is a risk. We don't know because when we put it in lukewarm water, what happens that basically the egg will get the required temperature and humidity at that time. It will mature and it will develop to the next stage. So that stage may come into the water, but accidentally the chances are there that he may be adhered to that milk and we may consume it. So chances are there. So if you want to consume it, always consume it properly, pressure cooked. So then never consume this raw egg or milk egg. You should avoid this. Then tick bite and flea bite, etc. There are many ectoparasites which are present on the animal. Fleas, then you have ticks, lices, even flies also. So they also transmit, when they bite the human beings, they transmit many other diseases. Then always consume the salad like carrot and radish after properly washing it and removing its outer parts and eat it, and then you consume it. If you see any depression which is having some soil, avoid that. Eat it and then consume it. Otherwise, in that soil there will be some egg of the parasite, and it will get entered into a system and then results into the echinococcus. Even then, when we have pets, so as we know that the every pet parent treat it as a family member. Even sometimes you will see the pet on the sofa or even on the bed also sleeping with them. Even they will be kissing also. So they are also the source of infection. The skin of the pets, it is a source of Staphylococcus pseudointermediates. It is a bacteria. You all are, yeah. Okay. So this is a stage and there is a hormonal changes. So if you touch the pet and after that you wipe your hand to touch your face, anywhere of your body. So when you are transmitting that bacteria on your face, that will get exposed more to you, and this boils or pimples on your face. Already because of hormonal changes, so there is a clogging of the air pores and there is a pimples. So but when you get the bacteria as a source of infection from outside and you are applying it, so that will increase the incidence of such problems. So these things should be kissing and hugging. You can do the hugging also, but after that you have to wash your hand properly. You have to change your clothes. Now I will discuss some of the diseases. You know about the rabies. It's a very dreadful disease. And this is basically viral disease. So it has no treatment. Till date, only 7 patients survived by the God's sake. In that also, those patients, they have to put on the dissociative anesthesia in a comatose condition for the year together, and then they have to give an antiviral drugs intravenously. And after that, only the 7 patients till date they have recovered. If this disease will develop in any warm-blooded animal, except one warm-blooded animal, opossums is there. Except that, all are susceptible to develop the rabies, and all are the dead animals. Whosoever will get the infection, it has to die. So it's a very dreadful disease. So, how to prevent this disease? Because we can't treat it. There is no cure of this disease. So awareness is must. So we can prevent this disease. So as I told you that this is a viral disease, and most of the 96% of the cases they are transmitted by the dog bites. Now we can see the huge population of the stray dogs. Sometimes it becomes difficult to walk the street also. Sometimes they may attack. Saying you have anything in your hand, what do you think they will try to snatch it in? And you know the dogs, they sense when we get afraid of dogs, our body may secrete certain pheromones. So dogs sense that now it's a food and they attack. So जब भी कोई आपको कोई dog मिलता है, never get afraid, be confident, okay? Never disturb it and just pass from the side. If you will disturb, it will definitely bite. And 96% of the cases they are transmitted by the rabies, they are transmitted by the dog. And don't take it lightly. If it happens, so always report to your parents, consult the medical doctor. So this is every 2 seconds a man is bitten by a dog, and every 10 minutes a man dies of rabies. So this is as per why. And you know, in our continent, Asia, so we are having the high mortality, highest death rate is there in Asian continent. So this disease has to be controlled. So how we can control this disease? So we can control this disease by vaccinating our pets. Even by vaccinating the street dogs, the Jammu Municipality Corporation, so they catch the street dogs. They go for the sterilization. ABC program is there, animal breeding control program, in which they are catching the stray dog, they are doing the sterilization, they are doing the spaying of the female, removing the genitalia of the female so that they don't conceive. Because the litter size is very large. When one female dog conceived, so it gave birth to 4 or 5 sometimes 8, 9, 10 cups also. So, and they come to meet 2 times in a year. So they can give birth to 2 times in a year. So one is giving 10 cups, so 20 cups can be from the one female dog. So in order to decrease the population, the ABC program is going on, in which the animals from the different localities they are catch, and they are staying with the female case of name, the traditional stuff, and then they are kept at Rupnagar hospital is there. They keep it there for 7-8 days. After that, medicinal treatment is there, and then they remove the stitches and then they again brought to their original locality. So this way we can control. And moreover, at the same time, when these dogs they are caught, so they are vaccinated with the anti-rabies vaccine. So it is said that if we vaccinate the 70% of our dog population, so we can prevent the transmission of the rabies to the human being. So for that, it's even difficult also. We are having the it's difficult to catch each and every dog and to vaccinate it. So for that, we have a oral rabies vaccine also. But this vaccine has a very short shelf life. So it's like a bait, as we use a rat bait to kill the rat. So you can feed it to the dog like a biscuit. The dog will ingest it and it will get vaccinated. It is from the Verba company, but availability is less in India. So that is the mode how we do the vaccination also with the wild animal also. Because the wild animal, they are also, especially wolf, jackals, etc. They are also the big carrier of this disease. Even squirrels, squirrels, so they are also carrier of this. Even some people, they see if some squirrel is eating some fruit and say from the plant or tree, they consider it good, so we should ingest it. Never. So because when saliva will come, that is the source of virus. If you will consume such fruit, so that will be the source of the virus for you. So never consume this. And other reservoir of this virus, they are the fox, cat, and the bat. Bat is not common here in India, but it is in the USA. Actually, there are caves, and in the caves the bats they live. So when people they enters into those caves, so there the transmission of the rabies can also occur through the aerosol also. So virus will be there in the environment, the aerosol will be generated, and if any person enters into that cave, whenever the cave such as so the virus will be transmitted, but it is not common in India. So this is how when the dog bite, so virus first enter into the muscle. This virus, it travels to the nerve, and it travels at the speed of 2 to 4 millimeter per day. So far away is the bite, so longer is the incubation period. Some people they consider that कि मुझे तो डॉग ने काटा, इतनी देर होगी तो मुझे तो अभी तक हुआ नहीं. So this virus is traveling very slow, actually 2 to 4 millimeter per day. So if somebody is bitten in the foot, so it will take a long time for virus to reach to the brain. Only when the virus will reach to the brain, it will cause the inflammation of the septum, so it will result in encephalitis, and then only the signs will come. And after that, the virus, firstly there is a central tickle, and here after biting, the virus will travel to the nerves and it will reach to the spinal cord and brain, and then there is centrifugal migration. So this virus then it comes into the saliva, into the salivary glands. So the virus comes in the secretions. So that's why it is important that if you have any wound in your hand, any injury in your hand, then if you impact it lick that area, so that way also the virus can transmit it. So you can do that. And if there is a bite, some people what they do, they try to say if it like to remove say some venom has entered and they try to pinch that area so that some blood come out. So what you are doing by pinching that area or by squeezing that area? So it will when we pinch there will be pain. So maybe you are exposing the more nerve endings. So you are exposing the more nerves to the virus. So the area should not be squeezed. It should not be cut. Some people they cut so that the blood come out and virus come out. No. So it will be even if there is a small wound, the suturing is also not advised. And the suturing of the wound, जो टांके लगाते हैं, it is only done after injecting the immunoglobulins, antibodies. So पहले antibodies वहाँ inject करते हैं उस localized area में जहाँ पे वाइट होता है, so that the immunoglobulins they will react with the antigen and they will neutralize the virus there. It will not allow the virus to travel further to the nerves. So then after they go for the suturing of the wound.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So like most of the practices during a snake bite is to put a knot, a tight knot below the
Yes, ligature.
bite.
Yes.
Exactly, and just 2 inches above you have to cut an area so that the blood can come out with the venom. Is this the right practice?
Yeah, it is a right practice because in the snake bite the venom it travels to the lymphatic channels, to the lymphatic vessels. So when we put the ligature, that will increase the flow of the blood into the main circulation. So that way, by putting the ligature, you are keeping the venom in that very area. So as soon as you will reach to the hospital, so doctor will first take to the CTPT. They will collect your blood time. They will collect your blood and seek for the clotting time. Mostly in the snake bite, the clotting time is prolonged, and then they go for the anti-snake venom. They give these are the antibodies, so they are in the powdered form. So it has to be dissolved in the fluid normal saline, and then it is given intravenously. So that is a good practice. But it should not be followed in case of a rabies wound, because here the virus is traveling through the nerve, not through the blood vessel or through the lymphatic channels. So this is the right practice. So this is how the virus enters. So what are the clinical signs? So we have to take the precaution and preventive measures that no patient should come to this stage that we see the clinical sign. So it's a very dreadful disease. So there is a fever, there is a diarrhea, photophobia, and it will avoid the light. Even there is a headache, runny nose, hydrophobia, so fear of water. So why it is so? Basically, this virus it causes the paralysis of the pharyngeal muscles, laryngeal muscles. So in even dogs also, if you see that if it is having the rabies, so there will be change in the voice of the dog. When it will be barking, so its normal sound will not be there. That is one of the rabies howl. So there is a change in the voice. The dog will not able to ingest the feed. It will not able to ingest the water. So it is because of paralysis of the pharyngeal and laryngeal muscles. Similarly, in humans also, there is a hydrophobia basically. The patient avoids water, it's not able to drink. If it will try to drink, it will get aspirated, it will go to the lungs. So it is so. And ultimately, it has to die. So as per the data which I saw on the net, so as per 2019 to 2023, so till date there were 40,552 cases of the dog bite reported to the Jammu Medical College, out of which the 13 cases they died, they developed the rabies, and 13 cases died. And you know in India, in order to control the rabies, the Goa state, so it was considered as an example. But recently we have one case of rabies in a human being, and even in Kerala also, even after vaccination, the patient developed rabies and it died. So what is happening? So problem is that it should prefer that whenever you get bite, always go to the medical college for vaccination, post-bite vaccination. Because when we go to chemist, here also you have a light problem, maybe the transformer will be out of service, and if the chemist is having the vaccine with him, say overnight there is no light, so the cold chain of the vaccine will not be maintained, and he will not going to throw that vaccine. Definitely when he will come, he will vaccinate with that vaccine. So mentally that will not be a good vaccine. So these are the cases basically. So in medical college, if there is a light cut, within second the generator will be on, so there will be no light cut. So the cold chain of the vaccine will be maintained. So you should prefer always go to the medical college for the post-bite vaccination if you have exposure to the dog bite. So what is the first aid? Since this disease, it has no treatment, it's 100% fatal. So whenever you have any person have a dog bite, so first thing is you have to wash it under the running water so that with the pressure of the water, the virus, it can be washed away. After that, you take some soap, Nerol soap is there, likewise soap. Likewise soap, it contains the phenol. This virus, it is very sensitive virus. Even if the saliva of the animal, it will be in the direct light, the virus will be killed. But you have to wash that wound, the cut area with the likewise soap or the roll soap, and washing it at least for 15 minutes continuously. And after that, you can apply the disinfectant, you can apply that, and any antiseptic Savlon, Dettol, or Betadine which you have at home, and immediately you proceed to the doctor for the post-bite vaccination. So these are the vaccines in post-bite. So vaccines are given 0, 3, 7, 14, and 28 days. Firstly, when this Pasteur, he invented that vaccine, and after that, at that time the vaccine was given around the navel cord. The 14 injections were given, and it was very painful. Nowadays, with the advancement of the science, now we are having the good vaccines, and even what vaccine you will take outside, they will give the dose of 1 ml. But if you go to medical college, they will give the dose of 0.1 ml. That too here in the deltoid muscle, intramuscularly. So dose will be very less, and it will be least painful. So depending upon the case, what is the degree of the bite, first degree, second degree, third degree, fourth degree, accordingly they treat the case. So it is the duty of the doctor, medical doctor, to judge, and then if it is a second, third, fourth degree bite is there, those conditions they will go for antibodies, rabies, immunoglobulin infiltration in that area to neutralize that virus, and this has to be followed with the anti-rabies post-bite vaccination. So this is a very dreadful disease, and we can only prevent this. So how we can prevent this disease? I told you that if you are having a pet at your home, you have to do the vaccination. So when any puppy comes from a female dog, so if the female dog is vaccinated, so if the puppy has ingested the first milk of the dam or the mother, so it has an antibodies at least for 3 months. So the recommended age for the anti-rabies prophylactic vaccination for the puppy is 3 months of age. So we do first vaccine of the puppies at 3 months of age. So I will also tell you, if you bring a new puppy at your home, so how to proceed. So at least you should have this awareness also. So generally, when the new puppy is born, it opens its eyes at 14 days of age. Okay. After that, now it has become bigger. So many breeders they have come. They just sell it. So they will sell it by 21 days or by 1 month. When the puppy is with you, the first thing is that you have to deworm it. You have to give the deworming, the medicine to remove the endoparasites, parasite which is in the gastrointestinal tract of the animal. So you do the deworming. So initially the deworming is done after every 14 days till the age of 3 months. और जो फर्स्ट वैक्सीन दी जाती है, the first vaccine is given at the age of 45 days. So generally we think about ourselves, we people they are concerned when they come to us. हमने घर में डॉग है, आया है, घर में छोटे बच्चे हैं, they will play with it. Sometimes it may bite out also, the rabies will be transmitted. So आप इसको anti-rabies vaccine लगा दो. तो anti-rabies vaccine मैंने आपको बोला था, जी मनसा फेल पे होती है. तो उस समय हम नहीं करते, तो हम उनको एडवाइस करते हैं या पहले जो इसकी बीमारियां हैं उसकी वैक्सीनेशन करवाइए. तो जो फर्स्ट वैक्सीन है वो होती है क्विक पपी DP. D for distemper, P for parvo. So these are the two viral diseases of the dogs which are very dreadful and they are very difficult to treat also. For the viral disease, we don't have a treatment. You have seen the corona. Very rare the antiviral drugs were used, only the symptomatic treatment was done. So here similarly, so canine distemper is such a disease that it impacts the nervous system of the dog and there are the epileptic fits. So animal is not able to walk also. So very miserable life is there and ultimately we have to euthanize cat puppy. So it's not treatable. So it is advisable to do the vaccination, first vaccination of your puppy at 45 days of age. After that then its booster is given and the anti-rabies vaccine is done at the age of 3 months. Okay? Then later on when you will go to your veterinarian, he will tell you the whole schedule which you have to follow. So vaccination is very important in order to prevent the rabies. Don't touch the wound with a bare hand, cover the wound with the dressing or bandages. It should be don't apply any irritant like soil. Some people they apply chilies, even oil, bitter leaves, etc. These should be avoided. As I told you that you wash it with water, running water, apply soap, and after that you apply disinfectant. So this is a good practice, and then you proceed to the medical doctor for the vaccination. So this brucella which I was telling you, brucellosis, this is also one of the things caused by the brucella abortus, and this get transmitted by consumption of the raw milk, and also if the animal is a carrier of the disease, if we come in contact with that animal, this bacteria penetrates to the intestine. So bacteria they are very exposed to this because when we are handling the animals, always we need to put the gloves or sleeves. If we are doing the partial examination of the animal care handling, the chances are there we are going to get this virus, bacteria. So this is easy. So never consume the unwashed or unboiled milk. And this is the occupational hazard for the shepherds, for the abattoir workers, people who are working in the slaughterhouse, for slaughtering the animal, and also to veterinarians also. This is a big challenge. So as I told you that this is the brucella bacteria which can penetrate to the intact skin, and in the females it causes abortion, fever, nausea, and it causes the stability in the males. This is the sarcoidosis, and this is the bacterial disease which are transmitted by the consumption of the canned food. So if you will just can uncooked meat or the raw vegetable, so this bacteria they get transmitted. So the signs are there is abdominal pain, there is diarrhea, fever, nausea, vomition, cramps, and speeding. Click on that. Spoiled food, when you will press it, it will produce more sound. But if it is a good food, not spoiled, when you will press it, it will not produce any sound. So whenever you purchase any canned food, so always press it, see whether how much noise it is producing. You know? If it is producing too loud noise, then it is spoiled food. If it is not producing any sound, it's good. So what is the case? So this is how the salmonella causes the weakness, it causes typhoid is a very common problem in human beings also, no? And this is by even sometimes the consumption of the contaminated water also and food also. So all this ingest the properly boiled water and food. You know, plague was a disease. In 1994, it came to Surat in Gujarat. So in which there was a pneumonic sign. Basically, Gujarat is famous for the bananas. So bananas which were coming to even Jammu and Kashmir people, they were avoiding that you don't ingest this banana also, don't take that. They were afraid of even purchasing the banana. They were thinking that this disease will spread by ingestion of the banana. It's not like this. Basically, this is by the flea which is present on the rats. And how this disease spread? So the hotel and other hostels, etc., they were throwing all the waste garbage outside, and the rats, they were coming and they were ingesting that, and those rats, they were infected with the fleas. And these fleas, when they bitten the human beings, that transmitted the disease. And in this, there are two forms of plague. One is the cutaneous form, where there is such signs as skin boil formation is there, and another is the pneumonic form of plague, where there is a respiratory signs, pneumonia will develop, and so there is a huge mortality at that time. So this is also one of the disease, because rodents, they are in our homes, so they are the carrier of the baby flea. So we have to avoid this. You can use this rat killer, etc., so that your home is free from the rat killer. And very importantly, if you are having pet at your home, always keep this rat killer away from your pets, because we are getting the cases that even parents also accidentally they ingested the rat baits which are used to kill the rats. So they contain the bromidalum. So this is a poison. So that causes that prevents the clotting of the blood in the body. And because of the hemorrhages coming out of the blood all into the body cavities, because of the hemorrhages, the rat dies. So such cases are there. So always take care of that. Then cat scratch disease. So now the cat population is also increasing in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in Kashmir, and refer to have cats. In Jammu also we have a good number of cat population now. So there are many cases coming to the clinic also at our hospital. So these, cat may have a very sharp nails also. So by the scratch also, because they are the carrier of the bacteria which can transmit the disease. So by the cat scratch, you can get the disease, cat scratch fever. So always wash it and always apply the antiseptic, so to prevent this disease. Leptospirosis. This is also a very common disease, especially in the South India, in Tamil Nadu. This is also known as the petrified disease. Recently there was an outbreak of the disease even in Gujarat also. So this basically bacteria, leptospira, this comes in the urine of the rat. And this is also one of the bacteria like Leptospira which can enter to the rat skin. So I will tell you my experience, how I get the Leptospira. I went for one training at Chennai, 21 days training in Chennai, and there was flood there. Our auto was stuck in the flood, in the road. So when we went into that water, that bacteria must have entered into my circulation. So after 1 week, I developed the signs of high fever, malaria, muscle pain. So I consulted the doctor. Doctor told that it could be malaria. The blood was tested, so there was no malaria. After that, since I was for 21 days in Chennai, so they have a specialized lab there at Margaret. So I voluntarily submitted my sample there, and next day I got the report that you were exposed somewhere to Leptospira, you were antibody titers. this is such a big area. If it enters through our entire skin, it is going to cause a liver failure. It is going to damage the kidney. After that, I took the antibiotic for 1 month together, and I was regularly doing my kidney function test, liver function test regularly, but I came out of that disease. So it is also one of the dangerous disease which comes from the pets, because from the rat's urine and also from the pet urine also. So to prevent this disease, we are doing one vaccination in our pets, that is the Novivac DHEEI plus L4. L4 means there are the 4 stains of the leptospira. 4 different stains of leptospira are there which affect the dogs. And from dogs, those bacteria they can come to the pet parent or human beings. So in order to prevent the spread of the coming of that disease from our pets to the human beings, we are doing that vaccination. So that vaccine is also very important because it's a costing around 900 rupees also, but some people they don't go for that vaccine. So they say that I will only do the anti-rabies vaccination because rabies is a dreadful disease. But they don't know that leptospira is also a dreadful disease. If we will contract this disease, the liver will be involved, there will be severe jaundice. You see the color of the eyes of the patient. It's a yellow because of the bilirubin, increased bilirubin, because of the liver compromise. And the kidney also get failed. This disease even affects the animals also, like cattle, buffalo. It affects every species of animal. So in those species of animal also, it causes the liver problem and the kidney problem. So we should also aware of this disease also. We have to vaccinate or protect against this disease also. So how to prevent this? So always get the plastic clothing, cover the wounds, get rodent control, protect water supply for animal living, and vaccinate your pets. Dermatophytosis. This is basically the fungal disease, which is very common, which can be transmitted from our pets to human beings. You must have seen such type of lesions. Sometimes it comes from the skin, circular region. So that's why it's a ring worm. It is caused by the dermatophytes. Many fungus are there, like microspora is there, epidermophytosis is there. So they cause this disease, and it is also zoonotic. So it is transmitted from the animals to human beings, and it mostly affects those human beings whose immune system is compromised, especially immunocompromised patients. So this should also be avoided. If your pet is having any skin problem, don't allow to come it on your sofa or on the bed. You treat it, go visit to the veterinarian, he will diagnose, he will treat it. After that, what is the shampoo that you can. Then hybrid cyst, I told you about the cabbage. This is caused by the Cyanococcus granulosus. This is basically a tapeworm. So this is the intermediate state of this worm, which is formed either in the head or in the liver or in the kidney. So that results into the hybrid cyst. So this is also very dangerous disease. Some people they have developed. One of our students, she is presently studying there in the BBA. She also developed. And for that, if it is there in the brain, for that, the brain surgery is required. It's a big, air extracted filled with the fluid. So cyst. So sometimes while draining that cyst, the contents may come out and it may spill into the brain and may result into further spread of the disease. And some people they may lose even their memory also, there may be amnesia also during such head surgeries. So it's a very dreadful disease. So never consume the raw cabbage. So that is the source of this problem. So these are the symptoms. Then we produce stool, coughing, discomfort in the abdomen, skin rashes may be there, jaundice may be there, and sometimes if it is there in the brain, so it will result into the nervous sign, there will be convulsion, affective fits may be there, there will be maybe unconsciousness. So the precaution is avoid eating or drinking anything that may have come into contact with the dog feces, and have dog dewormed by from your brain veterinarian. don't have a contact with the dogs, that may be effective, prevent the dogs from eating the infected sheep, and wash the fruit and vegetables properly, peel them, and then use the stick. This is another problem, that is the toxoplasma. Toxoplasma gondii is also a disease which can transmit it from the cats to the human beings, and it is of great importance, especially for females, because if the females they will get this infection, so there are chances of abortion. This causes abortion of pregnant ladies. So if you are having the cats at your home as a pet, so in order to remove or clear this organism, so there is a course an antibiotic rather than sulfa is there. So you have to do that course at least for 7 to 10 days. So that will make your cat free from this organism, and this stage will prevent the spread of this toxoplasma gondii to the human beings, because it also results in the formation of certain small cysts there in the different visceral organs between the brain also, in the liver and the kidney also. So this is also one of the dreadful disease. Basically, it transmitted that this organism it comes in the feces, in the stool of the cat. So sometimes if the cat will be defecating there in the garden, and if you are doing gardening, it may enter into the nails, and while eating the cat will get ingested. So this is a very common habit among the children also. They are breaking their nails and they are eating their nails. It should also be avoided, because you will get many bacteria, many microorganisms there in your nails, and while eating nails you will ingest those microorganisms also, and that is going to harm your body. And tick-borne diseases. You know these pets, they suffer from the many ectoparasite. Ticks are also one. So what I have seen in the pets, these ticks they are responsible for transmission of many of the pneumococcal diseases like rosacea, plague, and a lot of many problems. And there is a high incidence of renal failure, kidney failure. Dogs में इतना ज़्यादा है, हमारे पास कितने केसेस आते हैं, ऑलमोस्ट लास्ट स्टेज में होते हैं chronic kidney disease, जिसको हम रिवर्स नहीं कर सकते हैं. And this basically ticks, they are responsible for causing this disease. There is one gram-like bacteria, Ehrlichia. This Ehrlichia basically it can be transmitted to the human beings also by the bite of the ticks. So if your pet is infected with the ticks, so these ticks, they, because their meal is blood, they will come even on the skin of the human beings also, and they will suck the blood. While sucking the blood, they will transmit the disease into your circulation, and as soon as your immune system is working well, you are not going to develop any sign. But when you will come under any stress, say you will be immunocompromised due to any viral disease like influenza, harm of that. So when, because these viral diseases they cause immunosuppression, so these infections they get the chance to proliferate and result in clinical complications. So ticks control is also very important in the pets. So you have to you can use this anti-tick shampoo. Nowadays there is a spot on also, you can apply directly on the skin of the body. And you have to apply one spot. It's like healthy liquid. You have to apply one side and it will spread all over the body, and that will keep the ticks away at least for 1 month. So this way how we can prevent the tick infestation in the pets and the transmission of the different diseases to the human beings also. And the last is, I think this is the last, because it's very humid also. So cysticercosis, this is a parrot fever.
Yes.
So this is also transmitted to the human being, because some people they are rearing the parrots also as a pet. So they get transmitted to the human beings, and avoid the bacterial disease, avoid the contact with the beak of the parrot, don't kiss the parrot, and this way you can avoid this disease. So you know about the COVID, it has come from Wuhan, China, and you know there are two theories. Some say that it has come from the animals, and another theory say that they were working, they were making some new variant of the virus, and that virus has escaped from the lab and then it spread. So this is also the disease which came out from the animals. And about the avian flu and bird flu, this is also the disease which come from the birds. So these are mostly diseases, they are coming from the zoonotic diseases, they are coming from the animals and affecting the human beings. So we have to be very aware. So what precautions we have to take? So always wash your hands before eating and after eating. So don't consume the raw vegetables. If you want to consume it, wash it properly, peel it, you remove whatever the soil is there, any dirt is there on the outer side, you remove it. Avoid the consumption of the raw meat, uncooked meat, that may be the source of the many infection. The milk should never be consumed raw. It should always be boiled, it should be the pasteurized milk. And then the proper vaccination of the companion animals and the humans must. Even you should also go for the vaccination also. You know, when the small kids are there for the prevention of the tuberculosis, everyone has got BCG vaccine. BCG vaccine. So it is given to every kid. So that vaccination is also must. It is in the government program. So it should be done. And similarly, we have to do the vaccination of our pets also, so that we can prevent the transmission of the leptospira and the rabies to the human beings. And deworming should also be done, regular deworming. So that is for the pets. After every 3 months, you should go for deworming of your pets. And even your deworming also, at least you should do it twice a year. So after consulting the doctor, you should also do your deworming also. And packaged food items, they should be thoroughly checked, as I told you, whether it is spoiled or it is in the good condition, then only they should be consumed. Otherwise, you should avoid the packaged food. Don't feed dogs and cats raw offals and meat. Sometimes what you must have seen, the meat shops, after dressing the poultry birds, what they are doing, whatever the offals are those crops which are not consumed by the human being. Say that gastrointestinal tract, intestines, they are full of feces, bacteria, so they are thrown outside. The dogs, stray dogs, they will definitely consume it, and they suffer from cirrhosis. So never feed the offals to the stray dogs and to the cats. Don't let the cat and dog lick your mouth or the wounded area, because they may be the carrier of the virus or some other bacteria, so they may get transmitted. And washing hands every time you touch your animal. So these days, by taking all these precautions, I think whatever the precautions I told you and what the awareness I have given you about the different zoonotic diseases, I want that you tell all these things to your family members also, to your near relatives, to your relatives and their food also. That way, just by awareness, we can prevent the occurrence of these diseases. Otherwise, it will not happen. Because what we see even in our university clinic also, most of the patients, cattle, sheep, goat, whatever is coming, so people there need concern about the deworming. We ask whether you have dewormed your cattle or the cattle. Never. Don't think my animal is in good condition, it doesn't need deworming. But it is not so. So we should regularly do the deworming. Awareness is must. And vaccination is also must. So I